Good morning everyone. Today we're going to be talking about triggers because a lot of you guys have been asking me the yellow triggers, the purple triggers, how do they work? Can you get your triggers back by canceling in the middle of a fight? And yeah, we're just going to answer all of those questions as well as walk you through a purple trigger because I know a lot of people have anxiety and they're just like, oh my god, I've never done a purple trigger before and I'm super scared and super nervous and I don't want to let the team down, blah 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 blah. So don't worry, today I'm going to walk you through everything in video format so you can see what's happening and understand what to do as well as how to prepare for the purple triggers because they are considered more endgame content until the December update, so pretty much in like 1 month. Alright, but before we talk about all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. Alright, so the very first thing I need to talk about is what are triggers. So there is a yellow trigger and a purple trigger. As you can see here, I have 21 yellow triggers and I have 5 purple triggers. My RNG is garbage on things that I actually want, so it took me a really long time to get the 5 purple triggers because the game kept showering me with yellow triggers instead. But anyway, you're going to need 5 of the same color trigger in order to go into the cocoon or the dungeon or the zone or whatever you want to call it. You're going to need 5 copies of it. Now it will be sent directly to your material storage if you have material storage. Remember, material storage does cost star gems and you can buy like 1 month increments or 3 months increments. I do recommend buying the 3 months one because it is cheaper, and if you do have material storage, the trigger just automatically goes in here. Once you have 5 of these triggers, you can access the cocoon. So as we can see here, there is the yellow portal Aelio, and up here is the Aelio Devastator, which is basically the purple portal. Okay, so what people don't know is you don't need to physically run over here in order to access the dungeon. So you can see here, I'm currently in Central City. All I need to do is click here and immediately teleport myself as well as my team into this dungeon. Now keep in mind, only the host needs to have 5 of these triggers and you cannot share. For example, like let's say I have 3 triggers and like someone else in my party has 2 triggers and we add that together and it's like 5 triggers. It doesn't work like that. Only the host has to pay, but the host needs to have 5 triggers. Okay, so if you have 5 triggers, you simply press accept quest and you're gonna see right here there is a matchmaking thing. I can skip it and I'll be like, no, I just want to go in by myself, and say yes. Okay, and it's immediately just gonna send me into the dungeon, as you can see right here. Now once we're in the dungeon, you're going to notice there is a quest starting thing. There's a 1-minute timer over here. So I know a lot of people like freak out. They're standing here, they picked up all their items already and they're like, why you no open door, why? And it's because there's a minute countdown timer before it opens, right? So you just got to wait for the minute and then it'll open up. Now let's say that you accidentally went in, or one of your friends disconnected, or someone crashed or whatever, you know, and you're like, oh crap, I need to, I want my triggers back. All you need to do is press escape, go to communications, party commands, and then abandon quest. Now you can see the countdown's already over and like the monsters have spawned already and blah blah blah, but it doesn't matter. As long as you abandon the quest before you complete it, you're gonna get your 5 triggers back. So here we go to party commands, abandon quest, yes. So we're gonna head right back out, and you're gonna notice that you and your team have been teleported right in front of the portal or the dungeon or whatever you want to call these. I have no idea what these are called. And let us take a quick look at our triggers. You're gonna see, boom, I got my triggers back. I'm still at 21 yellow triggers. All right, the same thing works with the purple triggers as well, which is super duper useful because now you can use this to train yourself. So let's say that we want to go to the purple one, right? We can just click on this, click on start quest, alliance members only because I don't want anyone else to join me here, and immediately I can pull down E. If I'm doing it solo, I can do immediate start and boom. So the purple triggers work the exact same way as the yellow triggers in the sense that the host has to pay all 5 triggers. The other 3 players in the host party don't need to pay anything. And you can see up here on the top left corner that there is a 20-minute time limit in order to kill the gigantics. So with the purple triggers, there are a total of 5 gigantics that you need to take out. And the timer starts immediately once the countdown finishes. You can see here that the timer's ticking down even though I haven't even aggroed the Bujin, but it will just start counting down. So let me show you what happens when you die after fighting the Bujin or just fighting anything. You immediately immediately revive after 5 seconds. You're gonna see here, I'm dead. Oh no, there's no one to revive me on my team. I just wait 5 seconds and boom, I will automatically revive to full HP and I'm good to go. However, if you do have teammates, obviously they can also use the Resivine or the yellow flower to revive you as well. Okay, so you don't need to be super stressed out about dying because you will be automatically revived in 5 seconds. The only downside to this is when you're dead, you're not DPSing and you're not hitting the boss and you're not dealing damage, which means you're most likely not going to be able to kill all of the Gigantics within the 20 minutes because there are a total of 5 different Gigantics. I'm going to go through all of them in the B-roll and explain what we're doing and how to fight these bosses. Now, you could always just train yourself by fighting these bosses in the open world because it's the exact same boss. But anyway, you can see here that Bujin is kicking my butt and I'm just like, oh no, I can't do this solo, I'm too weak, I need to leave, but I don't want to waste all my triggers. What can you do? You press escape, you go to communications, go to party commands, abandon quest, yes. And once you abandon the quest, you're going to notice that you are automatically teleported in front of the purple portal, which is located in North Aelio over here. And let us check if we got our triggers back, which we just type trig. And you can see here, I got my 5 purple triggers back, it did not consume them, and I'm good to go. So you can train yourself by simply fighting these Gigantics over and over and over without consuming the purple triggers. However, when you defeat the Gigantics, they do not drop loot until the very end. So that's the catch. You're not consuming your triggers, but when you kill the Gigantics, you're not gaining anything from it other than your technical prowess and getting better at the game. But this is a really good way in order to practice against Gigantics. So when you do decide to do some group activities and get 4 people and jump straight in, everyone will be familiar with the boss rotations, and that way it'll make life a lot easier. With that being said, we're going to jump straight into the B-roll over here. You can see it's Raven decided to use 5 of his purple triggers in order for us to get some practice as well as see how the purple triggers work. And you can see over here the first boss is the Bujin. We're simply just going to kick its butt. You can see that I do have aggro. So the problem over here is not dying in one hit. It's kind of difficult to die in one hit against these Gigantics unless you're really purely glass cannon. But the thing about it is you eventually run out of the green healing potions, the Restivines, and when you run out of that, that is when people start dying most of the time because you can't heal yourself anymore. But don't worry, between every single Gigantics, you will be able to restock up on the green flowers as well as the yellow flowers. But you can see there that Raven got one shot by the Bujin, and you know, the Bujin does hurt quite a bit. So you gotta be careful. Like you can see here, I got hit once and I lost like 80% of my HP, and I'm built pretty defensively. But it's pretty hard to get absolutely one shot from 100% to 0. And you can see here, bouncers are very useful in these situations because of the elemental down, the physical down. It allows times like this where you get a lot of DPS uptime because the boss is down and they really can't do much, which is really nice. I think the first boss, Bujin, is probably one of the most annoying ones because it moves around a lot. It's simply very mobile, it's very annoying, and it deals a lot of damage. So it's just fast, and I don't like it that much, but eventually you do get used to it, and it's probably a good idea to have one person hold aggro. Over here, I think it's like me and Raven are juggling aggro between the two of us, which is causing the Bujin to do some unpredictable things, and this is very dangerous. You need to be able to counter this or else you take a lot of damage. So you can see here that I was managed to counter 3 times, but I did get hit on the very first attack, unfortunately. And right here, this is super nice, getting that force, or I don't know if that was a force or if that was the bouncer, but we got the freeze off, which is super duper nice. And you can see there, I got one shot from half HP, Raven got one shot. And during these fights, it's super important to practice your J-Res. The reason we call it J-Res is because on the Japanese server, like, people instantly revive you the moment you go down. And it's pretty important, especially during these gigantic fights, because there's only 4 of you and you're fighting against the clock, right? So you kind of want to kill all the Gigantics, you know, pretty dang fast. since there's 5 bosses, there's 20 minutes, you know, you gotta beat each one in like 4 minutes. You don't have that much time, so it's really a time attack right here. So I do recommend having some communication here between the reses, because you really don't want to waste multiple reses on one person, right? So you see we beat the first one, and right here there's restock. There is 5 green potions and 1 yellow, so make sure to pick those up. And the next boss is going to be Varas, the washing machine boy. I find this boss super easy as a braver, however I don't know how it is for other classes. Other classes might find this a lot more difficult. For me, it's super easy. I literally just hug the boss. He doesn't move that much compared to like Bujin, so I really like this boss a lot. Another thing to keep note of is all of the gigantics in this dungeon are level 24, so you do need to be level 20 in order to deal like the maximum damage or the regular damage, as well as your battle power needs to be 1363 or above in order to do this. If it is under that battle power, you can't even access this dungeon, so do keep that in mind. I really love this spinny mood because it's super easy to counter, it's super telegraphed, and so as a braver it's nice because you get so much DPS uptime while he's spinning around, just not doing much, not hitting anything. This is a little bit annoying because those are guided. Sometimes they fly towards you and then they hit the ground and explode, so you just got to be careful about that. Once he's down, I think this was a physical down over here, so we just maximize our DPS and just beat the crap out of him. Just keep note of the timer. You can see that this is boss 2 and we're already at 14 minutes left, so that's 7 minutes gone already, so we are a little bit tight for time. So you can see here, if you didn't counter that spinny move, you just insta die, like what happened to you, Raven, over there. You really need to be able to counter a lot of this guy's attacks, or just dodge them in general, or just avoid them, because they are gigantic variants, so everything they do does hurt significantly more compared to the veteran versions, compared to the regular ones that you see in like the combat zones. However, the nice thing is the boss rotations are exactly the same as their veteran and regular versions, so you could always practice there. Alright, next one is the doggo. As we can see over here, we have 12 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, and so we gotta hustle a little bit. We are cutting it pretty close on the time. So this is boss number 3, so we gotta kill this pretty soon. And once doggo is down, we're gonna see the dragon next, which is also a very annoying boss because the dragon has like a really big AoE attacks, and since again it's a gigantic version, it deals significantly you know, it does a lot of damage, so you gotta be kind of careful. You can see here I'm trying to take aggro, but for some reason I don't really know how the aggro system works here. But you know, it just doesn't like me. It just wanted to hunt down the I think it was the ranger we had, or the other braver, the bow braver that we had. Is just kind of weird. I don't really know how the aggro system worked over here. It just totally ignored me, while like the first 2 bosses I had aggro, and then from boss 3, 4, and 5 they just totally ignored me for some reason. They're just like, no, we don't want to fight you, we're good. And yeah, it's kind of weird. And here we go, it's mad, it's exposed its weak spot on its head. However, this is where it gets really dangerous, because when he starts doing this attack coming up, this attack hurts a lot. You can see here that 2 of us instantly died, so you got to be very careful with this attack. If you're not confident in like your countering ability, you could probably just hold down block or just straight up avoid it. But once he's down here, this is the time to deal as much damage as physically possible, because his weak spot is exposed and he's down, he's not moving, and just, you know, you just gotta hit hard, hit real hard. Okay, nice, we got an elemental down. So this is where bouncers come in handy, because bouncers can do both physical down and elemental downs, so it really does help when the boss isn't moving, isn't retaliating. It's a lot easier to deal damage. So you can see on the clock we have 8 minutes and 55 seconds, so we are cutting it pretty close. We got to kill this boss before the 50 seconds runs out in order to keep on track with the 4 minutes per boss. There we go, we did it. So we still have 8 minutes 30 seconds. We quickly restock, and then now the dragon comes in. So the dragon is probably one of the more annoying bosses because it's, you know, it's really big, it flies around, it has some huge AoE attacks, and all the attacks that the dragon does is pretty painful. You can see here that I've decided to jump on its back in order to deal damage to both the wings as well as the tail. However, you can see right here that I took aggro for half a second or something, I don't know, or maybe I just bad positioning on my half. But yeah, it's, you kind of want to focus on some parts over here. We didn't really communicate very well. We were just like, whatever, just DPS everything, right? But I'm sure if you guys work together, pretty sure there should be like an optimal way of, you know, maybe target the tail, then the wings, or just focus the leg maybe in order to down it ASAP. I don't know of a solid strategy on this boss, to be honest. If you guys have a solid strategy, please let me know in the comment section below, because this purple trigger is actually my very first purple trigger, the footage you're watching right here. This was me going in blind without knowing anything. I only knew that there were 5 bosses. I didn't know what bosses there were. Here we go, got another physical down. During these times, it'd be nice if you had a ranger for the weak bullet, because then you'll deal extra damage. So you can see the time, it's at 6 minutes and 10 seconds. So we've got like 2 more minutes to kill this boss if we want to make it in time. This part, you probably want to run away from this explosion. You can see that I didn't make it. You can block that. If you just block or if you counter, you'll take, you know, you'll live for sure. I don't know why, I just panicked there and I was just like, oh god, I gotta get out of here. Normally when I'm fighting the dragon, I usually counter it actually. Like if you watched yesterday's video, I countered all the explosions every single time because I'm just confident in my ability to do so. But for some reason, because it's Gigantics, you know, it's like, ooh, it's a stronger version, I got scared. And look at those, man, those freaking tail whips just destroyed us. So we have 30 seconds left to kill this boss, or else we're probably not gonna make it. As you can see, the timer is 4 minutes 30 seconds. We don't have much time. So this is the annoying part. We're just flying around, throwing fireballs everywhere, being a pain in the butt, spinning like this. It just sucks. You can see here that we ran out of revives. Oh no, never mind. Aishi revived me. For a second there, I thought we ran out of yellow flowers. You can see that I'm out of yellow flowers because I've just spent all of mine reviving people. And yeah, we're just trying to knock this guy down. You can see that we went overtime. This is more than 4 minutes on this boss for sure. Alright, the dragon should be almost dead. We've only got 3 minutes left though, which is pretty bad news. We're also like low on potions, low on everything basically. This is the last stretch. This is usually where a lot of parties will fall. A lot of parties will run out of time without killing the dragon, or they just kill the dragon and they run out of time. So if you manage to kill the dragon and get to the 5th boss, consider your party pretty good. You're doing above average. You can see here we just killed the dragon, but we've only got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. This is not enough time to kill the last guy. You know, in my opinion, I feel like you need the 4 minutes on the last guy because this guy flies around. So this is the new guy. This is the guy that you fight in mining base. So I've never fought this guy that much, so I don't have a lot of experience on his moveset, on what he does. So I'm literally just going full aggressive on him because I don't know what to do, right? You can see here going full aggression did not work over there as I wired lanced into his spinning attack and just instantly died. So I do need a lot more practice on this guy to see what his movesets is, how to play against him, because this was a really bad experience as a melee character. You can see maybe 90% of the time I was just using my wired lances to hook in because he kept running away from us. And then like if you got too close, he would do a spinning attack and it was just annoying. So yeah, just gotta figure this fight out. This boss is quite a handful, pretty annoying to deal with because of the amount of jumping he does. So this is where bouncers really shine, being able to physical down as well as elemental down so that it doesn't move around so much and doesn't shoot and spin and do all these crazy moves and one-shot people. Yeah, that move's pretty annoying. The spinning attack up there because it does explosions afterwards and stuff. And yeah, we're gonna fail over here. Unfortunately, you can see there's only 20 seconds left. Now, if you don't want to consume the trigger, let's say that you're going for a full clear, this is the time where you can press escape, go to communications, go to party, and abandon quest, and it won't consume the trigger. However, once the timer hits 0, like right now, it will automatically consume the trigger when the Battle Dia quest clear thing comes up and the boss disappears. You can see here we got an A rank instead of an S because we didn't kill the last boss, and these are all the nice rewards that I got. You can see here that I took everything on my inventory and nothing really good, you know, there's no crazy fixes. We got a Straga sword, we got a Vialto saber, as well as a Straga talus. However, for the armors, we did get a quality armor Argo, which is really nice because these are the red box armors that gives me 1% more melee damage, 1% more range damage, as well as 4 PP. This is a really good armor. It's solid defense as well. Now you can get the red box armors with fixes by farming these purple triggers as well. So that is also something you can look forward to if you are truly trying to get that min-max and squeeze out every little bit of DPS you can. But do keep in mind, literally in 1 month's time, we're gonna get better gear because we're gonna get like 5-star rarity stuff, 6-star rarity stuff, all of that jazz. Okay? Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!
Can I say except you're welcome for the heals, the boosts, the rest.